Hey guys, Blue here. How's it going? Welcome to Cubeorithms. I decided that I would wear this hat in this video because so many of you guys are commenting about that I look bald and you're hurting my feelings. A few days ago I posted a video where I talked about whether or not we had solved every 3x3 algorithm, and if you guys haven't seen that video, you don't need to watch it. I didn't really work that hard on it, and it didn't take me like weeks of thinking and math and animating, mainly the animating. It's definitely not that entertaining, and yeah, you don't need to watch it. But if you haven't watched it, nothing in this video is gonna make sense, so that's also a thing. Right after I posted that video, I got absolutely destroyed in the comments because you guys were saying that my math was wrong and that the whole video is stupid and that it wasn't correct. You guys actually weren't that mean, and you guys liked it apparently. But there were some very good points coming to surface. But the comment section did have some really good points, which is why I'm making this video, because I want to address those points and further analyze the question of whether or not we've solved them all. The animation I posted the other day was a hypothetical scenario with big old numbers, but it wasn't very realistic. So I'm going to take a more realistic approach today. Let's do it. Also, very important, that other video, it's still relevant, it's still important, it still makes sense. I'm not disregarding the points I made in that video. They're still good, please watch it. Now, by far, the biggest complaint that you guys had with my last video is that I was only counting one scramble per solve. But what you guys pointed out is that when you do solves, you do lots of turns, and by the time that you go from the initial starting point to the end point, you will have gone through a bunch of different scrambles and therefore solved said scrambles. Okay, so like here we have the initial scramble, and way over here is the solve. And in the original video, I was only counting it as solving this one, and I completely ignored all the other scrambles from the turns to get it to solve. Now, what you guys were suggesting is that for every time somebody does a solve, let's say they take 50 turns to do the solve, which is how many 3x3s are here, that would mean each solve solves 50 of the 43 quintillion scrambles, not just one. Obviously, if we were solving 50 scrambles at a time instead of just one, we would have done it a lot faster, and we might have a chance of actually having done it already. I don't know why I'm walking around so much. So the question is this true? If we take 50 turns to solve, have we solved 50 scrambles? No, we haven't. And I can explain it with math. Yay, math. Now, the main issue with this idea of 50 turns equals 50 new solves is that there will be duplicate scrambles. In our original scenario, we didn't account for any duplicates. Every single solve was unique. But here, if we count every turn, we're gonna get duplicates. Here's why. Okay, so let's look at it this way. We have our initial scramble, our starting point. This spot has a 100% chance of being a unique, never before seen scramble. We can make sure of that. Down here at the solved position, 0%. This is a position we've seen before. We're seeing it every time we solve. There is no chance that solved will be a position we've never seen before, except on the first solve. But then after that, it's 0%. And this is an average, so there you go. Keeping in mind that there's 50 positions between solved and scrambled, that was backwards, between solved and scrambled, including the initial position and scrambled, it's all 50. We can deduce that each turn we make will lower our chances of getting a unique scramble by 2. So now we got 98%. Sticky note, 96%. I'm just gonna speed this up. Oh no, 68. It's the only one left. I'm down a cube. There's 50 cubes here, but I also have a 0% cube, which means that there's 51. This is a mathematical disaster. We're just gonna have to pull out another cube. It's gonna ruin the aesthetic. An entire stack of sticky notes later. So we start here with a 100% chance of a unique, never before seen scramble, and go down by increments of 2% all throughout the 50 turn solve all the way down to solved, which has a 0% chance of being something we've never seen. This means that starting from a completely unique, never before seen scramble, going to a solved state, not all 50 scrambles are gonna be a unique, never before seen one. I'd like to quickly call out an important number, the 50% turn. Halfway through the solve, that turn, you have a 50% chance of it being one that you have never seen, and 15% of it being a duplicate. Everything after that, you're more likely to get duplicates. You're more likely to get duplicate scrambles that you've already solved before, and before that, that's where you're more likely to get the majority of your new scrambles. Now, I'd like to re-emphasize the point that this is an average. At the beginning of the experiment, when you're doing your first few solves, just about everything is gonna be a new scramble. But by the end of it, when you're doing your last few solves, you're gonna be getting a lot of duplicates. So these statistics are like right in the middle of the 43 quintillion scrambles. This is not perfect. This is just a generalized average to help you understand what I'm trying to say. Got it? Good. So in the spirit of averages, if we say that every solve takes 50 turns throughout the whole 43 quintillion, we can say that on average, 25 of those 50 turns will be new scrambles, and 25 will not be. There'll be half of them will be duplicates. That's disappointing. However, 25 new solves per scramble is a lot better than only one solve per scramble. There was a person out there and he scared me. So yeah. All right, so we're about to run the numbers, but first there's a few more variables that I want to adjust. Firstly, inspection time. Most of these cubers are not going to be taking inspection time. Even the best speed cubers don't take the full 15 seconds. That was ridiculous of me to allot 15 seconds for inspection. We're gonna say people start solving immediately. I think saying that it takes an average of 30 seconds to solve is generous, but I'm gonna stick with that because it makes the math easier. I'm also gonna bump up the scrambling time to 30 seconds because I feel like a lot of those casual solvers are gonna have a hard time figuring out what the heck D prime means. It's gonna take them a long time to scramble. So we're back to 1 minute turnaround. Nothing changed. Let's grab our trusty dusty calculator and figure out what's gonna happen here. Okay, let me see if I have this memorized still. 43 quintillion, 252 quadrillion, 3 trillion, 274 billion, 489,856,000 combinations to start. Now every time we solve, we're going to be encountering 25 of them. So we're going to divide that by 25. And that leaves us with the number that's on screen. My calculator is doing like the exponent. And then we divide that by 24 because all of those are actually 24 different scrambles. Okay, 7.2086672 to the 16th, or this number. So this is the amount of solves that actually need to be done to encounter every of the 43 quintillion scrambles. Now we have 5 million of us, so divide that by 5 million. Equals this big number. This is the number of solves each individual cuber will have to do in order to solve them all. I'm starting to think that we still haven't solved them all. Okay, divide this by 60 because each of those solves is going to take 1 minute, so 60 minutes in an hour. It's going to take this many hours, and there are 24 hours in a day. Divide that by 24. This is how many days, and divide that by 365. This is how many years it's going to take us. 27,430.24 years, even with all of these things that you pointed out to me in the comments about why I was so wrong in that original scenario. Conclusion, we still haven't done it. Now you might be wondering, Blue, why are you wearing a red jacket? It's because it's my SpeedCube Shop jacket, and it says creator on it, which is like the YouTube logo. And it's a good color. The real question you might be asking is, Blue, why are you still talking about it? You completely proved your point in the other video. Why make this video? First of all, it's a super interesting topic to me. I think that it's crazy that this cube has so many combinations. Hey look, somebody's getting home. Hello?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm just recording. Where was I?
So many combinations for the cube.
I know, I'm getting there. You took me out of the zone. I'm just gonna record this ending in my room. It's nothing, it's fine. I'm just gonna finish up this video in my recording closet. So the reason I felt the need to make this video is that it's an awesome topic. I think it's awesome to think about and it's crazy. But secondly, main important reason is that I wanted to recognize the people who called me out in the comments and actually thought about it and didn't just immediately believe what I was saying. That's awesome. Keep doing that. Do that forever. Do that for the rest of your life. That's something that I want to see more of in this community, is people actually taking a second and thinking about the things that they're being told on the internet and telling the people that they're wrong and telling them why they're wrong in a way that makes sense, and not just saying you're wrong and you're stupid, but saying here's why. You forgot about this. I really liked getting those comments, and I am glad that it gave me the opportunity to think deeper about this and do more research. And now I know more about it. So that's all for this video. I hope that you guys got a little bit more out of the original video from watching this. Sorry it was a little bit long, but I'm actually not sorry, because if you watched up to this point, thank you, because watch minutes. You're welcome, YouTube, and thank you, my audience. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. I already recorded all of this, but my memory card got corrupted while I was importing it to the thing. That's why I had to record on a different day. So sorry. Bye.